Ladies and gentlemen, we are Destiny Unfiltered, the podcast for the 99 percenters, because the 1 percenters they don't really need us. They got all that handled. Just want to say thank you to everybody who's been showing all your support, all the retweets, the subscriptions, follows, propaganda machine, all these types of things. If you're listening to this on Podbean, then you already know that we are on Podbean. But if you're not listening to us on Podbean, we are also available on Podbean and will soon be approved on iTunes, which we were initially denied because of...
Oh, no, we were accepted and then denied.
Some clerical issues. We don't read instructions, ladies and gentlemen, at all. We refuse to. And I kind of like to pretend that we were denied from iTunes because, the man's holding us down, but it's probably not the truth. But obviously, and this is something we've talked about earlier. So obviously, you're seeing us on Twitch at the moment, if you're seeing us live. But in order to get the affiliation thing out of the way, what Ryan and I are probably going to do over the next month or so is just randomly, whenever we have some time, we're going to jump on this channel and just play live. I am on Xbox, he is on PC. So if you see us go live, you'll be able to figure out who it is. But if you want to jump in, we'll do the things. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a very special guest. You do not know him in all likelihood, which these are my favorite kind of people in the Destiny community. I made my little, if you don't follow my YouTube channel, first of all, you should, because ad revenue. But my favorite people in the Destiny community are people who are not in the forefront of content creation, not necessarily Twitch streamers, not necessarily making videos, but are just insanely good at this game. I did a little video about my friend BK Spleen. I have a personal friend who's a former Halo competitive god type person. So in following with that tradition, tonight we have with us Mr. Do you go by Dakota Sharp or Dakota Smooth? Because Ryan has completely fucking confused me on this.
Well, online, Dakota Smooth. In real life, Dakota Sharp. Because that is my actual name. Please don't stalk me. But yeah, Dakota Smooth. It's fun.
I mean, you could have concealed it a little bit. I mean, if you
had
a genuine concern.
It's already there. It's
out there. I'm in the book.
So,
yeah.
I believe in our DMs, Rick, I actually put his name is Dakota Smooth. And then when I sent you the link is when you picked up on the Sharp.
I mean, motherfucker, did you miss the whole soliloquy at the beginning of this podcast about us not fucking reading?
No, I got it.
I'm not reading that shit.
Yeah, it happens.
Hey, how you doing? Too long. Good night. What? God. Yeah. But anyway, so tell us about yourself and what it is that you do, man.
My name's Dakota. I play Destiny sometimes when I'm not working my real job. I'm an engineer for a HVAC controls place. I live in North Carolina, And Ryan at Honor PC is who got me into PC gaming. So I'm PC Master Race now. Love it. Can't go back. I have my PlayStation 4 is basically just a Roku stick with a really nice controller.
Nice.
So don't blame me for the PC
nice.
the PC thing. That was actually your buddy that forced you into that. So now I will tell you a story that I don't know that I've ever told you about this though. When he knew you were going to be calling me to build the PC, he said, "Whatever you do, you have to make his PC a little worse because I'm sick of that asshole stomping on me in PvP."
That didn't work good.
No. So
yeah, Grayson, I got you. Don't worry.
Just send him an Apple mouse that has the one button.
Yeah.
No, man, that's the new gaming shit. Everybody's into this now. You gotta get wise to this.
What is, to bring out a King Gathalion quote, trackball and a Wiimote.
There you go. Oh, good Lord. So
I'm not into it. That's fine. That's me. That's a me thing.
So if you don't know Dakota, you've probably run into him in PvP, and he's the guy. Everybody knows who the popular PvP guys are and who the really good players are that are streamers and put themselves out there. Dakota's the guy who sits in the background, drops the 35 bomb on you, laughs about it, but never streams, never gets in your face, never posts any pictures on Twitter. But you remember that asshole that shit all over you in PvP. And he's that guy. So the reason why I wanted to have him on tonight, we haven't had a PvP discussion at all. So I thought it might be worth breaking it up a little bit and see, first of all, do you drink, demon's blood? Or how the fuck do you do that to everybody? What's your secrets? That was kind of the biggest thing I wanted to know. But, just general overall feeling, kind of like the changes and stuff about PvP, what's going on with it, and basically introduce you two guys because I thought y'all would have a lot of fun. So that was the idea for having Dakota on tonight.
Well, I'm excited to be here and talking. You make me seem a lot better than I would consider myself.
I've played with you and against you, and I didn't mean that as near as dirty as it sounded.
Sure you didn't. Sure you didn't.
Hey, I've driven to his house before, whatever. But
yes.
But no.
Gotta get back at the bottom of this.
So
wish I'd have brought some more.
What are you drinking?
I don't worry about what I'm drinking. Worry about what you're drinking.
I'll show you what I'm drinking. It's nothing special tonight. So
I got a point before we get into this. We have to point out the blast furnace thing. Yes, I do look like
that
our president more than normal. And I noticed, I don't know if you see this, but my hair actually has made a tan line here because I've apparently been welding on the sun. Neither one of those last two statements are true, but let's just address the 800-pound gorilla in the room. I am burnt as fuck.
Well,
moving on.
You are in Florida, so you realize that you're the only one of the three of us wearing a t-shirt tonight.
I mean it's hot, motherfucker. It's winter and it's 70. It was like 30 this morning. It was 75 at lunch. I'm
shoveling global warming out of my driveway right now. So
no, let's not go into that. Don't. That'll turn into a whole thing, and we'll be here.
It's
the
Destiny podcast, all right?
Right.
Okay, so I've said this in the past. Like I've always alluded to the fact that I really like PvP. I'm more of a PvP player than a PvE player, but I play everything. And I got on and looked up my stats. And my KD is not great. I'm like 1.04 because I don't care and I try to shoulder charge everyone to death. I quit worrying about stats a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But I've played almost 1,300 quick play games. So I think it's safe to say I really play a lot of PvP. But I don't, and I was telling Rhino this earlier in the week, it's like I can play a little better than what I can play if I concentrate, but I kind of get bored, so that's why I just go in and have a good time, knock out my milestones, do whatever. If I have a good game, great. If I get a good lobby in my favor, great. But I don't stress about it. There are people who genuinely, and I think I've mentioned this in a podcast before, like they're PvE players and they go in to get their milestones and just totally rage the fuck out. Like second gaming because they're trying so hard. But let's start being. So what is your thing? Like what is your play style? What do you like to use? What kind of weapons you like to use? Like are you an aggressive player? Are you a tactical player?
Where do you get that dragon's blood that you're drinking? That's what we want to know.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say I have like a specific play style. Like, some people like in the Destiny community, like the biggest one I can think of is like Luminosity, came from D1 and he was the Night Stalker shotgun hand cannon. Like that was him. You never saw him run anything other than Shade Step and run, shotgun. But or True Vanguard with the Sky Sniper, like everybody had these unique things. But I've never been like that. play the meta. Like, that's what I do. You know, you gotta, if you're gonna play decent and you're not the best player in the world, you gotta play with the best guns, or as close to the best guns as you can get. So if I go into Crucible right now, I'm running Ace of Spades and a shotgun and an HMG.
I can't argue with it. I mean, that's basically what I'm playing with.
Grayson over in the chat says you're a shotgun ape.
No, say no, don't.
No, that's me, bro. I honestly last week did just because I got it. I tried out some fusions, which has never been my thing, and I can see how you could make them work, but I'm not that dude. It's like I just don't have the patience. So there was a couple opportunities where it's like, okay, I know they're going to push now, so I'm gonna stand here and hold down the trigger and wait. But it was like very situational. I would much rather just be, running around like a maniac, which is kind of my thing.
So
well, there's a difference between using a shotgun and aping with a shotgun.
Oh, I'm aware.
Point the shotgun out.
I invented that shit.
And you just run. And that takes zero skill. Anybody that's prolific in the game will tell you that holding forwards and then shooting doesn't take any skill. But if you get into like advanced shotgunning, when you're like, baiting corners and like floating doorways, waiting for people to come to you with a shotgun, it makes it shotgunning a lot more fun than just, I'm gonna wait for you to come around the corner. Or I'm just going to run straight at you and hope you hit your headshots with your hand cannon.
So, both of you guys, what are your preferred loadouts? Not meta playing, not anything else. If you could, this is the guns that I want to carry into PvP. What is it that you would want to carry? What has the best feel?
I mean, I do not use pulse rifles.
No?
I do not. No. And even in D1, when they were the meta, just like they presently are now, it's just not my thing. I don't like them. They're good. I have nothing against them per se. It's just not the way I like to play. I'd much rather have a hand cannon, because I at least feel good about myself when I do like 3 or 4 taps somebody from like 30 meters away. It's like, and you're dead, fucker.
Yeah.
And it's like, and obviously I'm really not worried if you're gonna rush me, because Titan, so we could do that. But in the heavy slot, I've always carried a heavy machine gun, so those are back. So I really don't run anything else. I have started carrying a rocket every now and again, because nobody's carrying a rocket and really not looking for one, it seems like. Because everybody had rockets and now nobody has rockets. So now it's like, hey, I'm just going to put one of these over there and see what happens. Yeah. Oh, they died.
In Dakota, if you're not aware, Rick spent over a year trolling Bungie to bring back the Thunderlord. So
documented.
Yeah. Twitter, he was on there all the time. Where's the Thunderlord? And now the whole community's sitting there going, Rick, we're waiting for a video from you about the bringing back of the Thunderlord. So, but
I can't even record an intro for this thing. No time.
So, Dakota, what is your preferred loadout? Not meta, just preferred loadout. If you had to pick 3 guns and go, what would it be?
I'm with Rick. I prefer a hand cannon.
Okay.
Just being able to 3-tap somebody.
Are you still using that second tier hand cannon that you use? That the one from the raid? Which one? What was that called?
Oh, that's not. That was Grayson.
Okay.
I'm Ace of Spades.
Okay. So,
which is objectively the second or third best hand cannon in the game.
I just this week I started using it again because I read that it was really good.
Yeah, you should have never taken it off.
I've played with a Better Devils forever. Like I have a Better Devils collection. And it's like, and I only use one now because I'm like, I can't make this any better. But it was just, Yeah, you can pull shit off with an ace of spades. Like, I surprised myself. We're on that shitty Forsaken map. The PvP map, the whatever it is. The castle.
Oh yeah.
The Dreaming City map, I'm
The
sorry.
Dreaming yeah.
Which is not my favorite map, and it was a control, and they have the B point is in this little grotto on the cliff edge, and I have a hand cannon, and these guys are using pulses and scouts, and I'm like, well, fuck it, I remember how to do this. Somebody like just popping in and out, and then all of a sudden someone explodes, and then like another person explodes. I'm like, oh shit, what just happened?
Yeah.
Then they got me.
Yeah,
But I was like, I've been doing this not the best way I could be doing this.
And that's exactly why I prefer hand cannon is you can pop if you are popping out, and you get a shot in, your one shot does more damage than the one shot that you could land with a pulse rifle. If you're both strafing in and out, the hand cannon's going to kill first. Or easier, because you can do more damage popping out for half a second than a normal pulse rifle can.
Okay.
Well, all right, and that's a good segue into this. The sandbox changes that are coming up. So auto rifles are getting a buff, which we've had that meta a few times.
Yeah, that was the start of D2, wasn't it?
The start of D2 wasn't like kind of the start of D1.
Uriel's gift, I remember being.
I still have one of those the other day.
I still have it. It's still masterwork, bro.
I still have mine too.
It is my scout rifle. Its time is coming.
Rick, I can't help it, but every time you lean back, you look surprised, even when you don't have your eyes open.
I know, just same.
Sorry, just had to bring it up.
But what else? They're buffing the rapid fire and lightweight scout rifles, which Mida's back now. Which I really didn't care the first time because I used Mida in D1 because I'm a Titan and I run faster. So why wouldn't I use that? And snipers, the rapid hit snipers, you can now 2 body shot kill somebody. But so it's basically, that part's D1 again, but nothing about flinch, nothing about hand cannon bloom.
Yeah, they have addressed sniper flinch before, and they're like, we think it's fine. We're not going to do anything about it.
It's not fine.
Hey, man, they said that they think it's fine.
When Hush and TV are saying it's not fine, it's probably not fine.
No, I mean, I totally agree. I don't think it's fine. You get hit with anything, and it's like straight up into the air, and you can't.
Oh, look, the dreadnought.
Yeah, exactly. So wait, let me bring this back around. So it's like, and I'm noticing my camera keeps changing colors. So I don't know what all that's fucking about, but whatever.
That's that Florida sun.
Apparently. When Ryan and I were first talking about doing this, we said we wanted to do a podcast for the 99% of people who play Destiny who are normal people. Because, obviously the 1%ers don't need our help. So this was always the way I looked at weapons.
Don't nobody need my help.
There's that. But I know I've told a story a bunch of times. Like, the 10-cent version is several years ago in D1, I decided, you know what, I'm going to take PvP seriously. And I was in the whole, 2,700 kills, and I'm not exaggerating. So it's like, I'm going to start paying attention. That's how I got on YouTube, started learning about guns and metas and perks, because I didn't really pay attention to those either, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. But crawled all the way back up to a positive KD with that. But when I looked at the stat sheets that Mercules would do, for example, and you look at the times to kill, yeah, you have an optimum time to kill on certain weapon archetypes, but that's if you have really good aim. So if you're a person who can't crack off 3 consecutive headshots, if you miss that one and you go to a really long time to kill, my whole thing was like, okay, let me find something in the middle that's a little bit more forgiving. So if I am, for example, if it was an auto, I didn't want necessarily the fast, Uriel's, yeah, that was a great gun, but there were other autos in that initial year 1 meta that if you missed, it was a little bit slower, but it was a lot faster than missing a shot with the Uriels. If that makes sense. So I've always picked weapons when I'm really trying, I should say. That is like, okay, so if I miss a shot, it's not the end of the run. I don't jump from 0.8 second time to kill to 1.3 second time to kill. So I was trying to find something that's a little easier for the little bit lower skill. So it's like, what was that disgusting fucking the Titan auto rifle in D1? You could only get if you were Titan.
Yeah.
Fabian strategy.
Yeah,
Fabian strategy, depending on your timeline, depending on your era of choice. But that was I used to love that because like if you rushed me and I couldn't get headshots, it really didn't matter because it started to crank out more rounds and I could pull off kills when I shouldn't normally be able to pull off kills because I was like the only person using the fucking gun. But that's just the way I've always like pick things, like I said, when I am trying and not being a total Titan asshole.
Right. Nice. There's nothing wrong with just shoulder charge only. You know, throw on insurmountable skull fort and just
there is not
forwards.
Rick, you have a video about that, don't you?
You motherfuckers just better be happy I don't have Twilight Garrison back because the world will feel my fucking wrath.
Oh, shit.
And it'll all be set to the tune of the Rubber Band Man.
Oh, fun. So, oh, fuck it. Now I'm completely lost as to where we were at.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. So sandbox changes.
Yeah.
Wasn't that?
Does anyone care? That's where we're going with this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, but not the right people. The people that are
please
playing the
expound.
game
Yeah,
care, but the people that change anything don't care. You know, like everybody in the community wants snipers to not flinch, or flinch extremely less, and they've just said, it's fine." You know, they're not going to update it. So yeah, people care about sandbox changes, but they're not making the right changes, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, or they're just not making changes at all. So, I don't know, that's...
We're both
that's
sitting here like...
I mean... It's vague.
I think
I'm vague, yeah.
it's vague, but at the same time, I think he just called out Bungie.
I mean, I'm alright with it.
Right.
I personally trolled Josh Hamrick for a fucking year, so I mean, it's fine. I own up to it. I mean, him personally, nothing about the game either. Just like, I don't like your face.
All right. So, all right. Well, let's bring this back to something semi-video game related, at least. Dakota, where do you come from, gaming wise? What were your games before Destiny was a thing?
Let's see. My first console ever was original Game Boy, the gray brick Game Boy, Pokemon Yellow, Pikachu Edition. That's my first one, and I played that forever. All the Game Boys, because that was what was cool when I was growing up. I had a original PS1, GameCube, all that fun stuff, and got out of it for a little bit. Got a Xbox 360 years after it came out. A couple years after it came out, and got into Call of Duty. COD 4, World at War, the big ones I played. Got into Halo for a while, but never competitively, I was never even good at Halo. And then took a break for a while, and then got into high school, went over to Grayson's house, we talked to him a few times, and played split screen online Call of Duty Black Ops. Split screen.
Yeah,
wow.
This sounds rough.
Yeah. got into that and got really good playing on PS3, PS3. At one point had like top 250 of points ever in a domination match in Call of Duty Black Ops. So I got pretty good, and then I got back out of the video games, and then one day I went to go pick up Grayson so we could go get into trouble somewhere. And he was playing this game called Destiny. I was like, dude, this is stupid. And they're actually in Vault of Glass. And at the very beginning of Vault of Glass, they had an icebreaker, and they would walk in, and they'd try to start melting them, and then they'd wipe. And I had no idea what was going on, because I'm just watching. Like, dude, you just keep running out here, you shoot this guy, and you die, and you walk back out. Like, you've been doing this for 2 hours. This game can't be that fun. Let's go do something. And I sat there for like 3 hours while he tried to beat Atheon. I'm like, I couldn't figure it out. And I finally picked up.
Was it because they were using Icebreaker?
It was early D1, so they were in there for a while. I don't know if it was 2 hours, but it felt like a long time.
It was probably 2 hours.
Yeah. So
you can know how to do everything in VOG and spend 2 hours just from the glitches they never took out of VOG.
Yeah, exactly. So
oh, supplicant.
I finally got my hands on it, and I was like, this is pretty fun. And so I bought the PS4 and got Destiny, and just got sucked in and put over 1,000 hours into Destiny 1. And I started about a month before the Taken King is when I got into Destiny. And
that's scary.
Yeah. Put in like 1,000 hours after that.
A month before Taken King, you have 1,000 hours in. You play like you do with the KD that you have. I've been playing my whole damn life and don't have near the skill.
I mean, I don't know. You make it seem like I never lose. Like, I went and played 3 games earlier before we got on the podcast, and absolutely I got mercied twice in a row, and then should have got mercied the third time. Like,
I never said you don't lose.
Absolutely smacked.
I never said that you don't lose. What I said, but you'll be on the team, and even if you get mercied, you'll be the guy at the top almost every time. That's the issue. You'll have dropped a 20 and get mercied.
I got you.
So that was always my point. So I guess so. When you were playing COD, you said you were in the top 250.
Yeah. For domination score.
Okay.
Because I just went off and had a ridiculous game, like probably 75 kills or something, and a bunch of captures. Like,
Rick,
just one of those like out of your mind games.
Rick, is that a game you ever messed around with?
A long time ago, but
Yeah,
I never played on the competitive side. No, I don't think I really got in PvP in COD, to be honest with you. It's a different game.
So,
I was a big Halo player.
right. That's the world I came from too. But I'll tell you a quick story about Dakota, and then we can move on. Him and his buddy that we've mentioned a few times kept talking about Fortnite, and Grayson literally called me and told me, he's like, I'm gonna murder you if you don't get fucking Fortnite. And so I download the fucking game, jump in with it. My very first game, I'm running around, have no idea what to do. Dakota drops an 11 bomb on people and was one of the last 2 guys standing in that match, and I'm going, I don't even know how to fire the fucking gun. And he's sitting there like, just follow me. And literally, I don't think you ended up winning that game, but you dropped an 11. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, he calls me up, he's like, man, I just dropped a 13 on people. Just to give you an idea, that's his skill level in PvP. So it just...
Sometimes.
Yeah, but that's just, like I said, I'm curious as to, like I guess, walk us through where does that come from? Is that from studying maps? Is that from just paying attention? Is that from anticipating what other people are doing. I guess what's the mindset that goes in behind the way that you play PvP, and maybe some tips on what other people could do to help them out, because Lord knows I got to take notes.
I mean, like I'm not like a god tier aimer. Like I don't hit every headshot or make all the best plays. But one thing I've tried to do, and what's kind of pushed me to where I'm not at lower than 20 kills, I'm getting over 20, 25, 30 kills a game, is every time I die, I try to figure out why I died. If I just plain got outshot in a duel, like I came in and I had first shot at this dude, but he turned around and 3-tapped me, and I missed my shot. Like, oh, he hit his shots, I didn't. But if I come and I push around a corner into 4 people, instead of like turn around, if I try to fight them, like, oh, I shouldn't have pushed that. Or I'm all the way on the other end of the map, they're spawning on this side, and my entire team's over here, the other end of the world. I shouldn't be taking that fight because I'm going to die. I'm just going to get team shot to death, and it's going to do me nothing. So I've really tried to figure out why I'm dying, and not sometimes it is bullshit. It's lag. It's somebody teleported through the wall and shotgunned me, or their sniper bullet went through a corner. But that happens. But I try to think, what could I have done to not lose that gunfight? And just remember that, and just try to not do that again. And I've started watching Cami Cakes. I don't know if either of you guys watch Cami Cakes on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just hear it, because he is one of those that thinks, and in his commentaries he thinks out loud. Oh, I'm looking here, ready to snap up and hit him if he jumps across the door. Oh, I'm gonna push in here. I've got this to back up. Here's my exit route, and that's made me think a lot more of what I need to do in situations like that. And it makes me really just think my engagements through, and that's helped me a lot. That helped, learning maps and all the angles that you could use definitely helps. But I think just learning what you did wrong is the biggest thing that's helped me.
See, like, I never have to question why I died. I know exactly why I died.
Yeah.
Because science.
Yeah.
Well, no, but if you're like, I'll play the objective, but if there's 4 guys on C and we have to take C, I'm gonna go in and cause as big a ruckus as I can. You should follow me and clean everything up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way I've always played. Now, if I'm playing solo, well, hopefully you would follow the Mad Titan running towards the guys who have been team shooting you for the last 3 minutes. It's like, oh, he's going in hard. You should follow this guy. Just FYI. He is a meat shield. But, well, I mean, like with me, there's a level of work. Like, because I can really get into it. And I mean, like, my best game ever I had the other day, I broke 30 for, like, the first time. But it was always, like, 25, 26 prior to that. It was nothing crazy. But, like, when I really wanted to get better at PvP, it was like, okay, so I'm going to, like you said, it's like I'm going to pick where I'm going to fight. I'm going to pick my angles and everything. It's like, I was telling Ryan the other day, I played 5 Crucible matches in a row. It's like you can see my boredom level increasing by my stats. Because, like, the first game was, like, 6-something efficiency. Then the second game was, 2 point something. Then 1 point something. Like, by the end, it was, like, 0.83. Because it's just like, I'm fucking bored. I want to do crazy shit.
Yeah, and you got to find that balance. Because, like, it happens to me, especially when I play Titan. I want to run and shoulder charge everything. And I play way too fast. I push way too far up. And then I just die. I'm like, just stop. Just walk for once. I mean, don't run and jump out in the middle of nowhere.
I don't even know how to walk anymore.
Yeah. Oh, saying that. So, especially since I've started playing Hunter a lot, again, every time I get on my Titan, it's like, and I'm just like skating straight in and overextend every time. And I always play too fast on my Titan. Because I can't, like, you have the dodge and you can get out of places. with a hunter a lot, but you're just kind of stuck out there with the Titan.
That's why we don't have Twilight anymore, because it's not fair. It's not fair to everyone else. Why should the Titans get a dodge?
At least you're not wearing a dress and you don't float.
They have a dodge. You know, Warlocks. What is that? Bottom tree Dawnblade has the Icarus dash.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody use that?
Not.
Yeah,
No.
Some people.
I don't see it much.
I've never seen it.
It's because it's on the worst, like on the worst tree of Dawnblade. So top tree is the better super, and better like all around Dawnblade, but the bottom tree gets Icarus dash. So everybody picks top tree because you can get like 7 columns with it because it lasts forever and it's so fast. But bottom tree has the Icarus dash, so nobody uses it.
So we can guess here that Rick's primary is a Titan. Dakota, what do you consider your primary?
Primary. That's my only character. I don't have any other characters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a hunter main. I have all 3 characters. I play them all, but lately I have past few months is I'm like maining a hunter with a Ace of Spades, Mindbender's Ambition with a HMG, and I run Stompies with single jump because you can jump really far really fast. That's kind of fun.
Okay. So, all right. We done with the PvP talk, or do you want to jump into the last? From what I'm reading, the last topic in PvP about the ranking system, Rick?
I want to talk about comp.
Okay.
I want other people's opinion besides mine, so I'm going to do this the way I normally do this. I'm going to give everybody my opinion first, and let's see where the fucking chips fall. The competitive playlist is a playlist. It is not competitive in any way, shape, or form. When comp came out, I know what everyone was thinking, because the same thing I was thinking, is we were going to get a ranking system similar to what we had in Halo. So you were going to have a number next to your name, and it might start with a 1 and then with a 50 or something like that. And you were going to, which they're trying to do now. They're trying to matchmake people to where they might be playing other players of an equal skill level. Which, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. But when I say, is comp even worth playing? Like, obviously you can get your pinnacle weapons. Most of the people I see complaining about comp are not better players. Is that polite enough to say? They're not top tier players complaining about how hard comp is and why comp matchmaking messed up and why that. Well, a couple of them are top tier players, but we're not going to talk about him. But if you are a better player, like go and chase, like Redrix or Luna, I mean, you'll eventually get there. I mean, you might not get there day 1, but you're eventually going to get there. It's all everyone else that's, we're on week 7 now, and they're chasing it. So I don't think it really is. Now that they're making it to where you matchmake with people the same rank, okay, how is that competitive? That's not competitive. Should be trials, in my opinion. And Ryan knows this. I'm not a fan of trials. I don't like what trials does to the community because of the feedback coming from trials players who stream and have a large audience. But that should be your comp list, is trials. You get 3 days a week, and that's what trials is. It's the pinnacle event for PvP. Not saying I miss it, not saying I played it, not saying that I like it, but I don't know why comp is even there at this point, to be honest with you. So I've rambled enough on that topic. Go.
So I can tell you this: when you're playing with guys who have a much better KD and you're going into comp, getting drug along with them really sucks.
Oh no, that's a fact. I know that guy.
It does feel like you're getting matched up against much better players, and they're just all shitting on you. So, but
well, I mean, like the way it is set up now, like our friend I'm Sassy, he's a really, really good fucking player. If you play with Sass, yeah, I mean, you can go play comp with them. You're going to matchmake against the same, like, 6 group of guys every game. And that's it. You'll never matchmake with anybody else. So he's like, oh, yeah, I know this guy. I've talked to him a few times. And that you just play the same 6 fire teams.
Back
That's all he'll ever get matchmade with is those people.
Back at the beginning of D2, before we knew how the system worked or had any idea how it worked, that we would try to game it a little bit, and you would hear Dakota, Grace, and a bunch of other guys we play with go, Ryan, you're the fire team leader. We want to try to get matched up against lower tier guys. So, but that was before we knew that they just kind of took an average. But anyways.
An average of what? Have you seen some of the matches I put on Twitter? Just the KD face.
Yeah, it's not even close. So, what are your thoughts on competitive, Dakota?
Is competitive worth it? If you're going for your pinnacle weapons, yes. Otherwise, no. You know, there's no fun in playing it unless you are going for your Lunas, your Redricks, you're not forgotten. Like, if you're not doing those 3 things, you're not playing comp just to have fun. I think they put it in there as a response to Overwatch. Everybody knows Overwatch has their quick play and they're competitive, and everybody plays the competitive to get that ranking, to push themselves up, and that's what everybody plays when you go into Overwatch is the competitive. And I think, I don't think they were going for a direct competitor to Overwatch's comp, but I think that they took inspiration from that, not from Halo's ranking system, because I think it's a whole lot more similar to Overwatch's, how they do the points. You go 2100 is Legend, and it's whatever 5000 is Grandmaster or Grand Wizard, whatever it is, and Overwatch.
Grand Wizard.
I don't even play. I don't play
that's
Overwatch.
Something else.
All right, Rick, you brought up trials, so I'm gonna go off book a little bit tonight and say
go.
What do we do to make trials better? What can they do to make trials better? Make it worth playing.
It's 3v3. It's 3 days a week, and you get gear when you win.
Yep.
And that's it. You win a match, you have a random drop to get some gear. You finish a card, you get to go somewhere and get really cool gear. And that's the fucking end of it. You don't need objective modes. You don't. It's 3v3, what is it, Slayer?
Yep.
And that's it. It's like, okay, well, I was telling, like, this lockdown mode they tried on us a while back. It's like, we're going to try this out, see how, okay, that was a trials probe, in my opinion. It's like, are people going to like this? And I was telling Ryan, I was like, I win the, thank you, 3v3 elimination. But, lockdown, I was telling them, it's like, every time I play lockdown, my team wins. And I have the worst stats in the team because I go in, I have a Defender Titan, so I have a top tree Sentinel with a Helm of Saint 14. So I got a little bit of a neutral game, and I'm pretty much just getting shit on the entire match until it comes down to the end where you either have to hold their point or protect your point till the timer runs out. And I pop a bubble and dare people to run into my neon disco dance party blind as shit and just stand there. How you doing? So I might finish the game with like a 0.6, but I won the game. Yeah. And it's really funny for me to like sidestep and watch Warlocks wander around the bubble.
Yeah.
But that's not a competitive game mode. Right. It's really, could you not vibrate that into the mic? I feel like, holy shit. Never mind. I was about to have a flashback to something. It's neither here nor there. Oh, we're not telling those stories on the air.
Yeah,
but I mean, it should be 3v3.
3v3.
Okay.
And a hard timer on matches. Like a round is 3 minutes. None of this going fucking hide, camp in the back, find a sniper post, crouch down and sit invisible. Like, it's 3 minutes.
Trials was popular in D1 because it was 3v3 elimination. Like, that was the game mode. It was fun. You had the potential to make huge plays for your team. You know, you could go down
The hero moments and whatever.
3-1. Yeah, you could go down 3-1, and if you had your snipe, you could clutch up. You know, the round easy. You had the res snipe, which was a skill you had to have to play trials and be effective. Is you had to be able to res snipe for when somebody was getting their res on the other team. If you were good enough, you could kill both of them if you got line of sight. And it's just not there anymore. There's no outplay potential with how Trials was, or in the comp playlist now. There's no hero moments or anything that you can have at all. It's you have to run it as a team and hold hands.
So why has it been gone so long, and you haven't really heard anything about it from Bungie at all? What do you think?
I think they're too far gone. They can't. There's no quick fix for it. To be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I said this during the beta. They were trying to make a esport reminiscent of Overwatch when they made the D2 sandbox. Until somebody from Bungie looks me in the face or goes on the air and tells me otherwise, I'm not going to be convinced of anything else. Because it looks like Overwatch, a little bit. The maps, the maps changed. That was the great thing about D1. Some of the maps made no sense. Like, there were maps that was like, there were no shooting lanes. There was just this glob of shit and water towers and fucking rubble and shit. It was like a war zone.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you walk into one now, it's an arena. And it's like, okay, so it didn't work. That's fine, but you can't unring a bell. Like, all this shit is built. It's in there. So it's the same. You can't change the engine. We have one engine. So there is no quick fix for it. You can, the reason I said, okay, if you went to 3v3 elimination with, a 3-minute round timer. So you can't camp. You can't play slow pace. You can't bait people out. You can't do any of that because you got 3 minutes. So, put a draw mechanic in there. Okay, now you're in sudden death, which is a 30-second timer. So if you have a draw mechanic, then it's like, okay, that match was a draw because nobody died. Now we're on round 2. Let's move along. Let's get it going. You'd see a lot more aggressive play.
Yep.
So
would it work? I don't know.
I mean, you're describing Trials in D1 like it's exactly how it worked, and it worked. I mean, people played thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of just Trials. Like, people made a living carrying people. Like Real Crafty did double carries 3 days a week, every single weekend. Loved it.
So, do you guys remember? It was about a year ago when they started putting the roadmap out, and I think Trials was listed as coming back at one point, and slowly disappeared from it. And I'm wondering, given what you guys have just said, why can't they bring back just a basic D1 Trials into the game as it is?
Because it's already made. Trials is made how it is. They've got the whatever it is, not the lighthouse, but the spire is there. The game mode is there. Like, they have to make all that stuff from scratch. And if they drop making the labs or the raids or the all the other stuff that's came out since they announced that, and they're like, oh well, instead of doing that, we decided to just reskin D1 Trials and put it in the game, people would be pissed.
They would shit.
So they're like,
some of
there
them
would be issues.
To be on Bungie's side here, they did the correct thing, because it's like this teeter-totter of, do we bring something back that people loved in D1 Trials and make it exactly how it used to be, or do we put out new raids, new content, all this new stuff that we've promised that we needed to do to fix D2, and make D2 the game that they thought they were buying, or I think they made the correct decision to put Trials off until another expansion when they have time to do it.
So, I mean, not that I'm for catering to streamers, and I hear all the bullshit that you hear all the time. Oh, they're helping out streamers. This is built for streamers. We hear that with the raids and all that all the time. But don't you think, as popular as Trials was in D1, wouldn't it make sense for them to have something that people would want to not only watch but play, to keep Twitch, streamers invested, keep the YouTube crowd invested, keep people watching and buying, your games and buying whatever crap that they're trying to sell you at the Eververse, and but just keep the conversation going, because right now it seems very stale. I mean, it's you go into the Twitch directory, there's hardly anybody on there anymore streaming Destiny. I mean, not like the numbers what we used to get.
Yeah.
So I'm just asking the question.
I mean,
isn't it?
Yeah,
it wouldn't it
you
be
can't
better
go
to,
home again. There's a reason for the saying,
right?
that you can't go home again. Okay, I don't think they should stop anything they're doing right now with development to go back to Trials.
No,
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So
They need to bring it back, but they don't need to pause anything else to do that.
But that being said, we know that they have a live team. We know that they have the development team. They have the raid team. They have all that. To put that as a side project on one of those teams, or all of them, or whatever, and say, let's get some ideas, and then maybe even present 3 or 4 or 5 different ideas to the community or something. But just get it on the table and see. I mean, don't get me wrong. I never visited the lighthouse in D1. First time I saw it was in D2. So. What I think, Dakota, you and I we ran 4 matches of Trials in D2 total. And we got owned.
Yeah, on PC. Well, I went flawless 2-3 times on PS4 in D2.
Right.
And then first match that we played on PC, matched up against a 3-stack of streamers.
Mm-hmm. Slayer Age, right?
Slayer Age. And 2 of his clanmates, and it was what they call it, laser tag weekend.
Perfect.
On Prometheus Lens was, ridiculous. Killed you in 0.2 of a second from any range on the map. So that was fun. You couldn't it was like
that's this.
Started the game, and then it was like, oh, we died. So I was like. Never did.
Elmer over in chat asked, couldn't they make a version of Gambit that would be competitive?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hold on.
You broke Rick, Elmer.
I've thought about that because I made this comment where I said Gambit is the new Trials. The end. Because it's fun. But going back to what we were just talking about, it's like, okay, so here's my problem with the Trials community. There's not a Trials now, and there's still really big PvP streamers whining about shit in comp. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, this is broken with this exotic and blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, listen, I'm not nearly as good as you. I don't have the skill set, and I would like to think I'm not as smart as you tactically in this game. But everything you just said can be fixed by a Titan throwing 1 suppression grenade. Or a tractor cannon.
Yeah.
Or 19 other things that I can do that you seem to be having a huge problem screaming at Bungie devs about, and they're responding, which is the fucked up part.
Yeah. I'm playing devil's advocate here. When you go higher skill level, not my skill level for years, but people that make me look like a toddler holding a controller.
I get it.
Those guys.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for shitting all over us, but
no, I'm saying here's you guys and here's me, and then these people are way up here. Mm-hmm. Relative, ridiculous people. When you play against that, if they're talking about one-eyed mask, it's the better the person using one-eyed mask is, the more broken that becomes. Same with Nova Warp. If you get really good and fast with Nova Warp, you can't hit them with a suppression grenade because they're going to bait it out and then they're going to blink through it so it won't get them. And then they're just going to come explode on you. Like, the higher...
I have no defense against Nova Warp. I'm just like, I'll get you next time.
Yeah, exactly. But a bunch of these broken things they become more broken the higher skilled people that use them. So, like, we may not think certain things are broken, but, like, you get up and you play more higher skilled people using the same thing, and you're like, oh, well, that's stupid,
Okay, well, but no, I mean, that's a fair point, but so should you even pay attention to those people and make decisions that affect the other 99.9% of the community having a good time because of those people?
Right. The people that are buying the game and funding it and spending all the money and...
See what I'm saying? Does it make sense to rebalance it? I mean, it's like, well, why would you rebalance your entire community sandbox
for 1%
to accommodate the suggestions of people who are playing themselves? That's all they're doing is playing each other.
Yeah, and we have reached the end of all discussion of anything that's ever related to Destiny. Who does Bungie listen to? Do they listen to the top 10% of people saying to change it this way, or that middle 30% that we're in? We're on a podcast about Destiny. We don't play it 46 hours a week, but we talk about it. We are passionate about it. We will reread the TWAB. We follow Bungie on Twitter. We know what's going on in the game. Or the other 70% of the if the people that play it that have no idea what's going on, like that wouldn't even notice if they made a change to the game.
The random screeching, go. I got to tell you about this tweet I read today, being that you brought that up. So it was a retweet of Paul Tassi. I can't remember who he writes for. And Paul Tassi posted
Forbes.
Forbes. Right?
Is he Forbes? He has to suck
yeah,
then, because everything from Forbes is more or less shit. But I digress. This was funny. So it was a screenshot of a supposed conversation that he's having with somebody where they're explaining how to do the Taken. What the fuck is it called? Ah, God damn it! Not the global event.
Yeah, it is Forbes, by the way.
I don't care about that. What's the fucking the public event? The Taken public event where you have to shoot the giant ball in the sky to make it heroic, and the guy is telling him that he's doing it wrong. And so he explains that, no, you jump through the bubble and then you can shoot the big orb, and that's how you make it heroic. And the guy's like, no, man, heroic is totally random. It has nothing to do with that. So he explains it to him step by step, and he's like, dude, I'm just trying to help you. You don't have to be an asshole about it.
Yep, that's...
And this is what we're talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking about. Like,
Taken light, thank you.
Because if you're catering to the majority, that guy that thinks heroics are a complete randomness, that's your majority of the people in this game.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That is not that is on the bell curve of the bottom 5%.
I would disagree with you on that.
Man, for fuck's sake, people, look some shit up. It's fine. It's fine. Call me. I'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah. Hey, you're on PC. Just type. How do we make this, heroic? Local chat.
But nobody pays attention to that anyway.
You didn't have to watch a video. There's actually like a Twitter, like, one-page photo that's been circling around forever of how to do every public event. It's one photo. It explains every step.
Yep.
And that's just a public event. This is the people you used to get matchmade with in LFG for fucking raids. These are those people.
Are you guys Facebook guys? Do you have Facebook accounts and all that?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yes, it's
No,
yeah. I have a
that
Facebook
shit years
account.
ago.
I have a Facebook account. It's for my girlfriend to tag me in pictures for her family.
So
It's the only reason I use it.
there are wonderful groups on Facebook, and every couple of days there will be two pictures that go around, and one of them will be Gambit, and it will say, if you have 15 motes, go to the bank, go to the middle, some kind of tag like that.
The flow chart.
Yes.
Yes. That was awesome.
And then there will be another one, and it literally will have every public event, and then step by step how to make it heroic. And you will get so many people that will put on their questions about, I never knew that. How do you go from here to here? How do you, just like people will go in there and have questions. Like it's literally spelled out. Do this, do this, do this. And then they'll go, I don't get it.
Wait.
No.
Like there's some of them that even go so far that they take that chart that spells it out and they put pictures in, and people will still go, I don't understand, or how do you do this, or oh my god. It's wonderful being parts of those groups and seeing that. So, but anyways, I think Elmer was saying something about in the chat also some changes coming to Gambit. Do we know anything about those, or
I haven't read anything about any changes to Gambit.
No,
we don't know what's coming.
Just to plug another YouTuber, Dado just put a really good video about Gambit up on his YouTube today.
Is it
talking about
like how to do it currently, or the changes that are coming?
Just the state of Gambit.
Oh,
if it's any good, all of the best way to do it is, it's been figured out. You can melt a boss in like 4 seconds with a coordinated team, and that's what he talks about. It's not how it's not competitive anymore, especially if you're a solo team or you're a couple of randoms and you're playing a 4-stack. They're going to beat you every time. And like he's talking about, it says in a vacuum, Gambit is awesome, but when you put all these like specialized weapons and you get all these certain loadouts, you play Gambit the same way every single time. If you have a team, like you all run the same loadouts and you run the same guns and the same supers and you play exactly the same every time. And there's no like counterplay to a good team.
Isn't that the case with most of the bigger Destiny activities? I mean, once we got the raids nailed down, didn't you pretty much load out your team exactly the same way every time and go in and just try to crush it out? I mean, isn't that always kind of the case? You kind of figure out strikes and how to maneuver through them. You kind of...
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very fair point.
But it not only Destiny, but that's kind of like every game, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's like Crota. I was always the bubble titan, the aggro bubble. How you had to have 2 bubble titans?
In Crota, you'd always have the one guy that was the sword bearer, unless you had to do the one challenge where
everybody had to pick it up.
Everybody had to do it or whatever the kid. But there was always that.
But you always had 2 bubble titans to do it properly. You had one to pull the aggro from all the knights, because it was quicker just to pull the aggro than to fight them, and then the bubble right next to Crota to get more damage. That's how you did Crota. You could play around a little bit at the end of VOG with some weapons. Like you could never shoot a rocket in the bubble. No, don't do that.
No, but it was galleys forever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could use super good advice. You could use sleeper. You could use snipers. You could use a bunch of different things.
Towards the end there, when we got them back and we had those ridiculous weapons and we were just overpowered as fuck then that's a different story.
Yeah.
But like Axis, everybody did this. Everybody had a cluster bomb rocket launcher at the end or spin to win.
That was the best one.
But you either had Dark Drink or you had rocket launcher with cluster bombs, and that was it. If you didn't have that, you were doing it wrong.
Yeah.
It was like you were actually slowing everyone down.
Yeah, that's a very valid point of how. I mean, I guess that's just how Destiny is, but.
It's more of a race to get to the primeval now, because like when I play Gambit, I play those teams and we beat those teams. It's like they might completely melt their boss in round 1.
Yeah, Grayson just brought up when we used to cheese. Who was it off the ledge? Used to throw the grenades and
Athia. Yeah. And then they patched that to where if you threw grenades at him, he just danced around, made it harder to shoot. They're like, son of a bitch!
You know. And then there was, of course, those guys that just pulled the Ethernet cable.
Yeah. I hear there's still those guys. Like, well, did you hear that they had to shut down the competitive PvP tournament the other day because due to DDoS?
DDoSing, yeah. So
it's in private matches. I mean, the list of suspects was pretty fucking small, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
I'm just
Didn't
like, how is this a thing?
Gathalion just got DDoSed out of a charity stream, didn't he? Not that long ago, a couple weeks ago.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Triple Wreck put a tweet up the other day. He just forgot to do his VPN, like start up his VPN before his stream. Played one quick play match, and they DDoSed his entire stream offline. Like,
that's somebody who doesn't like him.
yeah.
So here's a question.
I would never do anything like this. I'm just saying.
Oh, I would, in a heartbeat, just for fun. I wouldn't go after somebody big like that, though. But have either of you guys ever been DDoSed that you actually know you were DDoSed?
No, I play on Xbox. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist.
There's only 8 fuckers over there playing anyways.
It doesn't exist on Xbox. Unplug your Xbox. You know what the fuck's gonna happen? You're not on Xbox anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It doesn't happen. This is a PS4 fucking computer problem. Not one time.
Rick, Elmer just said you also just don't know how to do it.
This is true.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that information is widely available on Google.
Rick, I have a question for you from the Xbox world.
Yes.
How do you feel about mouse and keyboard compatibility coming to Xbox One?
I mean, it's not ideal. Because, I mean, I've played shooters in the past where you have mouse and keyboard. Controller cannot compete with a mouse and keyboard. Not somebody who's really good at it. Not even good, above average. Because you can literally just go and you just turn to 180 degrees.
Yep.
I mean, that's always been that way.
So from
unless they're going to put in a limiter to movement, the sensitivity with a mouse, because I'm sure that exists in some capacity. It doesn't even make sense to bring it on.
No. So, Fortnite is why this got popular. People were using mouse and keyboard on Fortnite because Fortnite supported it natively with a PS4 or Xbox. You could plug in a mouse and keyboard straight into your PS4 and play mouse and keyboard. So what Fortnite did is if they said, okay, if you're using mouse and keyboard, you're only going to play people that are playing mouse and keyboard.
And I'm okay with that.
And I think that is the best possible solution, because people were still plugging in a Zim to a PS4 or to an Xbox One and using mouse and keyboard anyways, giving themselves an unfair advantage to anybody else in the world. So I like that Microsoft Xbox made that a supported thing, and now it's up to the game developer to decide if they're going to support it or not.
I'm not trying to be shitty, but is there a population on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, whatever, big enough to where you can divide your audience in half like that, for the half that have controller and the half that have keyboard and mouse? I mean, is there
no?
I mean,
no.
Not a big enough population now.
Right.
No. How? Well, Fortnite
They
does
need to
it
get fucking
because-
cross-save and quit fucking around.
Fortnite is a totally different ballgame than
Yeah, well, they don't
Destiny.
split up Xbox and play. If you have a keyboard on an Xbox, you play against other people with keyboard on an Xbox. You just play PC players.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they do their matchmaking, which is fantastic.
I mean, well, the PC population is very small, by the way.
You talking about on
Yeah.
D2 or on?
On D2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very small. Everybody thinks that that's like the... no, it's not the majority.
Yeah,
The majority of people who stream, because guess what? They're streaming from a fucking computer. Makes perfect sense to me.
And also because it looks better and all that too. So when you're putting your stream together, the idea is you want the best looking version of the game out there. So
I get that. But, I mean, like, it's... I think, if I'm not mistaken, the last article I read, which who knows how accurate that shit is, it's over 50% of the people who play this game are on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and then like 30% are on Xbox. Well, do the math. That's your PC population.
Yep.
Okay.
And
That's why a bunch of people that changed to PC went back to PS4 because all their friends are on PS4 or Xbox or whatever.
all right.
Yeah,
so-
because not everybody has 1,500 to drop on a computer to play a non-competitive playlist. No, I'm just joking.
But if you do, you should go to On Air PC.
yeah.
Hashtag ad.
So we are heading right into this conversation. So do we just want to go there or not? Cross save and cross play, or do we
There's
just want to
no
make
reason.
a U-turn and bail the fuck out of this?
No, there's no reason to. Well, no, crossplay. Fuck you. They don't need to have crossplay because
No.
that brings us back to the mouse and keyboard versus controller argument. You just need to have
But,
cross
so,
saves.
if you do cross play, have it available, and do exactly like Fortnite does. If you're playing with a controller, you play against PC or PS4 and Xbox. But if you plug a mouse and keyboard into your Xbox or your PC, you play PC players. Easy as that.
No, just do cross save because
Yeah.
I'll buy 3 copies and
Oh.
play with my Titan on 3 platforms because I want to play with all of my friends.
I want to.
And you get to sell me the game 3 fucking times.
Yep.
I want to play with all of my friend.
Yeah, same.
So,
Well, I mean, like the majority of people I'm friends with are legitimately on PS4 and have been on PS4 forever. Never played a game with them. Play Destiny, talk all the time. Can't play a game together.
Yeah.
Because I'm not buying another copy of D2 and another season pass to regrind my fucking Titan.
to then buy another console and buy another, subscription for $50 a year,
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got enough friends. I'm fine.
Yeah, I support cross save 100%. If they don't want to do cross play, like I'm not going to complain.
I heard an interesting thought about it. What if they did cross save, but they had a charge for, you buy the game and you get instead of buying the game 3 different times, 5 different times, or even if you have to buy the game, but then they actually added another charge like $20 or something, a one-time fee for the ability to transfer and save your characters across different platforms. Would that bother you guys too much?
I don't like that. Because is it just a one-time save?
I've heard it thrown around as a, one-time fee. Just different ideas, just basically trying to entice developers to actually do it. So,
Or is it like you buy the game twice, you've leveled up on PS4, you pay $20 extra, and that like opens the gate, and after that point, everything just cross saves in between. So if you get a gun on Xbox, you get a gun on the PS4.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm kind of presenting it more generically because I've heard a lot of different ways of doing it, and I'm just throwing it out there to ask you guys if there was some kind of charge, as long as it wasn't like a monthly charge or whatever, would it bother you to have a fee to be able to cross save? If it was a one-time fee of 10, 15, $20, whatever it was. I think I broke Rick.
It
At
should
this-
be in the game.
It should
Yeah,
be.
I'm with Rick.
Okay, listen,
At this
okay,
point,
th-
I wouldn't pay for it. I wouldn't.
I give Bungie a lot of support. They're not good at business. Listen to me. It's very fucking simple. You get paid to sell copies of games. I should be able to log into that game wherever I want and play my character because, as you know, I'm stuck with my face from D1 that I made when I was totally drunk and no one will ever see it in a video because that's my character. I want to bring my character that I've had now for 5 years to PS4, to PC. You get to sell me 3 copies of a game instead of bisecting my player base between 3 consoles hidden behind walls that can't play together. So I want fewer people playing my game with each other in a game that's a multiplayer game. I mean, am I talking crazy here? I mean, if Warcraft could be played on Xbox and PlayStation, it would be. and you'd have one save, and more people be playing that shit. The dogs agree with me.
Squirrel.
It just doesn't make sense. Why would you further segment your population?
So I've heard it just presented in a bunch of different ways that, basically trying to push them. And we all know the story of, Sony doesn't, because they're the console lead right now, they don't want the cross save because they want people on their platform paying for it in their store and everything else. But is there a way to monetize it a little bit to maybe break that up? Is all.
So, do you think that with Bungie splitting with Activision, and Activision being the reason that Sony and Bungie have exclusives, do you think that will make Bungie more likely to push Sony and Microsoft to cross-save? It kind of opens the door if there's not any exclusives anymore. If the PS4 exclusives leave with the Activision split.
The question, that opens up a can of worms because we don't know what that contract is. We don't, and even though Activision and Bungie are breaking up or divorcing or however you want to term it, that contract is still going to be in place. And so once that contract is over, whether it's, the 10 years has to go all the way out, wow, I kind of hit a pothole here. But so do you want to repeat your question since Rick?
No, I got it.
Did you hear?
Talking about the console exclusives.
The cross save, because with the PS4 exclusives, once that contract's over, I think the doors go wide open.
Don't take the money anymore.
Whatever you want to do.
Don't take the money anymore.
So
very simple.
The other question then is, and I didn't want to bring this up, but there was that tweet. As soon as they announced it, you saw Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, go, "Can't wait to work with you." Like, he was almost saying, "Come on back home. We want that Sony contract that you get." So, I honestly hope they eliminate the contract, the whole exclusive thing, and just provide the game across all the platforms in exactly the same way.
You know what PS4 people should be more pissed off about? They got a console exclusive weapon that's getting nerfed this week.
All their exclusives seem to suck. So
you got Wave Splitter. They're nerfing Wave Splitter because it's OP. You chose. No, they didn't choose this. You got a console exclusive weapon that is now getting nerfed. That would piss me off.
Do you not remember Hawkmoon?
No, that nerfed that for everybody though.
It was Hawkmoon was a PlayStation exclusive
for the first.
Really?
For a year.
For a year.
You didn't have
that was
when
OP.
it was broken.
But everything was broken at the beginning of D1. The last word used to kill in 0.53 seconds.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they brought that shit back tomorrow and it killed in 0.53 seconds? The ring that would be going on in the fucking Twitterverse.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's OP. Yeah, this is how we live.
To do like 153 headshots, like.
The luck in the chamber.
You get luck in the chamber and a Hawkmoon bullet or whatever the special bullet was.
They can never bring that gun back because they'll never be able to do it right. So just leave it dead. Just leave it dead.
I just want my icebreaker back.
Basic. No.
You would.
Icebreaker wasn't. No, it's no.
It's not going to come back because they won't even give us an invective, which was a shit shotgun that produced ammo.
It's because those two guns ruined PvP when they tried to fix the ammo economy.
There was nothing else left. We had the wormwood. They nerfed everything into the ground but a fucking sidearm. Trials was great though.
Yeah. Okay. Let's hide until my icebreaker. Let's hide until my icebreaker charges up.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
Grayson dropped in the chat. Holding aces was the perk on Hawkmoon. I never used it, so I don't know.
I had it, but I really just liked my last word, and I had an eye as Luna that It was fine. It worked just as good, and I didn't have to count on a magic bullet to show up. It just worked the same all the time, so I just went with it.
Okay.
Dude, getting a luck in the chamber shot on an ice Luna was so nice to just like two tap, occasionally just two tap, and you'd reload, and then you have another one at some point in that magazine.
Those changes killed my friend list before D2 even arrived. It's fair.
Same.
Do you even want to cover the last point, or do you just want to leave it?
Yeah, let's. Only because I know Dakota has spent a lot of time in raids and shit. If you want to, jump onto your Vault of Glass question there.
Okay. So if you read the TWAB, the Vault of Glass was alluded to by Luke Smith in this week's TWAB.
Was it?
Is he a troll?
Well,
Or
yes.
did the people in the Reddit Twitterverse just lose their fucking mind in speculations?
Well, the answer to the first part of the question is yes, he is a troll.
He is in fact.
He looks
fucking
like a troll, but
We know this. We already know he's a troll. This is fine.
Where
I'm more
did
upset that Christopher Barrett didn't give a statement. To be perfectly honest with you, 'cause I look forward to hearing from Chris Barrett. I don't ever really want to hear from Luke Smith ever again.
Do you remember what was said? I think Dakota's trying to figure out what was going on here.
It's so vague and cryptic, it doesn't matter. Oh, were you gonna ask?
He's trying to find it. It looks like.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
It's literally his last sentence before it says Luke, lowercase L. Just pointing that out. Just, he has a better editor than Trump and Kanye, but that's neither here nor there.
I got you. Not everything has been lost to the dark corners of time. Yeah, also guys. Yeah.
So.
I mean, well, Ryan, you mentioned that you had heard people had found some data mining items that support information that supported this through Reddit. Did you find any of that?
I didn't even look after we talked about it, and it's just from what I've heard, speculation. It could all be bullshit. Is apparently some of the assets are in the game somewhere. So some of the Vault of Glass assets are here. We'll take that for what it's worth.
Okay.
So, I mean, what does that mean?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Placeholder.
I kind of wonder if the plan wasn't to bring D1 into PC at some point with D2, and I don't know if it's been abandoned or if it's a possibility still that we get a D1 or version of D1 on PC at some point. It'd be nice to see D1 but the higher frames and resolutions and play some of that content, but
I don't see
if they did it as like a Destiny 2 Age of Triumph thing, you could maybe pull it off. But other than that, I mean, I really don't know. I think it'd piss off half the people. I think the other half of people would absolutely love it. But and then everyone who either hated it or loved it would go, it should have been in the fucking game to begin with.
I guess my response back would be, if they found some of the assets or whatever through data mining, we know that there was a little bit there from the Curse of Osiris. Wasn't there a part of the mission that, or at least in the cutscene, they went back into part of the Vault of Glass, right? Or did you?
Yes, I know in the cinematic. Yes,
yeah,
you
there
are
was
correct.
So, wouldn't it even make sense for them to use that map and that asset for even a part of his story where we got to go back into the Vault of Glass in this particular little slice of it for a mission? Wouldn't that maybe make more sense than having the whole?
I don't think it's in the game. Right. I think it was just a cinematic that they third partied out, and I don't even think that is in the game. I think that. Just because I follow the lore stuff, I know that there is going to be... This is a spoiler warning. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, mute me for the next, the end of the podcast. But, okay, spoiler warning's over. There is a Vex that is attached to the Dreaming City now that we've learned through the lore, and that's an active thing that's still going on with Zavathun and is going to probably where we're heading to in the future. But it's not a Vex that was like taken. It's like a Vex that's still somewhat sentient, the 10 cent version, and self-aware. So there's going to be Vex shit coming into the Dreaming City, is what I'm saying.
That does not make me unhappy at all.
No, I like shooting Vex. That's my favorite thing to shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot them in the tummy.
So,
I mean,
here is my idea to bring back D1 raids into D2 on PC, because obviously, like, console already has it. They can just pop the disc in and play. PC doesn't have that option. We have this thing called the Infinite Forest.
Impotent Forest.
yes.
So it is a Vex simulation, past,
Yes.
present, future, the whole nine. Just send us back to the lighthouse on a mission and say the Vex are running a simulation. Go see what it is. You jump into the simulation, and it asks, it's Vault Glass, and you can run a simulation of Vault Glass. It makes Infinite Forest usable for other than the 15 minutes you needed it during the story. It's a simulation that we can control now because we took control over it or whatever. We're gonna run simulations of Vault of Glass, Crota, King's Fall, Wrath of the Machine. You can use it inside of Infinite Forest. The lore works out, and we get old crap for fun. Do another Age of Triumph. Call it good. That's what I would do. If you're trying to fill in time before D3 comes out.
If there is a D3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might just keep adding to this one.
You almost have to launch a D3 now, don't you? With the Activision Bungie breakup.
I don't know.
Don't you almost have to, from a marketing standpoint, launch an entire new game and stamp Bungie all over it and have no Activision on it whatsoever? And
yeah, I think they will.
They probably, you know what? Now that I think about it, they probably have to just to have a clean break, monetarily speaking.
And a SKU break and the whole thing.
Yes.
And then, I mean, whether or not we ever see another Destiny game, who knows? I mean, I've even heard, prequels kicked around. I've heard all different kinds of shit, but you almost have to.
No, baby, no. Don't do that, please. Mm-hmm. No.
So,
no.
Yeah, but I mean, you almost have to just for marketing reasons and everything else, because
I don't want to play Destiny Reach.
Yeah. We already did. It was called Reach. So, it's called Halo Reach, but still, you from a marketing standpoint, don't you have to go and say, you start a massive TV and whatever the fuck else YouTube campaign, and you put out there on your box art and everything else from the makers of Halo and Bungie, and that's it, and you own that 30 seconds or a minute, and there's no mention of Activision, there's no anything else on there except Bungie, and if you want to put Halo on it, whatever. But I don't think you can just roll Destiny 2 and go, here's the next expansion, because people that are burned by Activision or burned by Destiny and Bungie, and they feel like it was Activision that burned them, don't get that wake-up call that, hey, they're not really there. Activision's gone. That you need that.
I agree.
You need that marketing
push. You need a
push.
clean break, yeah.
Yeah, you need that push.
Need a clean break.
So not even just for a clean break, but think about it. Destiny and Destiny 2 are licensed under Activision. They have a monetary right to Destiny 2 still.
That's
doesn't
what I was
matter
saying.
for contract. They still get money. So every cent that Bungie makes and Destiny 2 makes, Activision still gets a piece of Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And Destiny 1 if anybody's still buying it.
This is where I hate speculation, though, because we don't know what that contract, that termination, their divorce contract looks like.
Would you walk? No self-respecting company will say, yeah,
No, you just keep the rest of the money.
You
That's
keep
fine.
the rest of the money. We hope
Yeah,
you
yeah.
back this. You can have the rest of the money.
They're going to be paying royalties on anything
I mean,
forever if it's
I-
a game.
I mean,
to D2.
I almost-
It's attached
Yeah.
to it.
Destiny 2 is half Activision. They will take half
Well,
the money.
that's fair, except
Or
for
whatever
If they're
the-
not taking more than half now.
right.
Yeah,
Except
whatever
for
the split is.
we also know that Activision's got a lot of other troubles going on, and they might just be dumping product just to avoid whatever the hell else is. I mean, you guys saw like right after we got off the podcast, what last week or a week before, as soon as we got done talking about it, it gets released that they're being investigated and sued because of some illegal.
Yeah, but I can't find details on it.
Yeah,
I don't
there's
look.
not. I mean, I haven't seen
It's-
a lot, but
It's just out there, and it's like, okay.
But, I mean, and we had this conversation, you know, Activision invests $500 million. We don't know what they ever made off of Destiny, you know, and, you know, they come out and they say in their investors call that it didn't perform as well as they wanted, when we don't know what those numbers are. But maybe they just feel like if they make a clean break, they haven't invested the whole $500 million. Maybe they're only at 3.5. So you guys walk away, you get all the money going forward, but we're not going to pay you the rest of the contract. There's a whole lot of scenarios.
We'll never know.
And we'll never
know any of this.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and that seems more unlikely than them saying, yeah, you can have the game, but we're going to take the you can have the franchise, but we're going to take the royalties for what we put money up for.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
not how it works at all.
but unfortunately, we're speculating on stuff we just don't know about. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
instead of speculation, speculating is kind of like, fuck it. Let's, I just like the
And
idea.
unless I'm getting paid a dime of any of this money, I could give zero fucks.
Well, you know the former CEO of Activision. Why don't we get him and
I should.
Mylan.
Oh. Want to pull into the station?
Yeah, let's kill it.
We're gonna end it there because that'll go on for days. You guys don't even know. We'll just sit here and talk bullshit about that forever.
We'll go to work and come back and just be still here.
To continue in mid-sentence where we left off.
Yeah.
But well, thanks for Dakota for coming out.
Well, thanks for having me.
Awesome meeting you, my dude. Like I said earlier, we're going to be in all of the things, audio, visual, it's out there. Some guests coming up in the near future. We have Joe Paul Wright, Issa Cole, and Destiny Clan Warfare. If we can figure out how to get 4 people on at one time, which I think we have a frame for that. I'm not sure. We're beta testing that. But Dakota, if people want to find you or follow you or be your friend and play with you online, where can they find you, bro?
Facebook. Everywhere on Facebook.
Everywhere on Facebook. Just look for his wife.
Yeah. Yeah. You can find me on Twitter looking at memes at _sharp94 Twitter handle, and then I'm on Blizzard at Dakota Smooth and Discord at Dakota Smooth in the On Air PC Discord channel. Twitch.
You have
I'm
a
at
Discord?
Yeah, I have a Discord.
I didn't even know you had like a Discord channel.
All right, well, we'll have this conversation after we get off.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, I'm going P after we get off. You go to hell. You go to hell and you die.
I don't stream, but Twitch is Dakota Smooth as well. That's where I'm at. But mostly Twitter.
All right.
Send me memes.
Rick, where can they find you?
Let's do something different this week. So if you want to find me, go to Twitter. It's man_@_arms2112. Or if you go to YouTube and you type in Peregrine Greaves, I am now the #1 Peregrine Greaves video that shows up on the search. So I got that going for me. And I'm right above Fallout's video. So I consider this a personal fucking accomplishment.
Calling out.
Even though he does have like 15 times the amount of views in his video, that's neither here nor there. I'm still #1, baby.
Yeah. Put that on your resume.
Oh, we actually come. Destiny Unfiltered actually shows up #1 in the Google search now. Like us, like not somebody else that's not us. Which this is moving in the right direction. This is good.
So if you type in Destiny Unfiltered,
We're the first ones. And you see a tweet of me saying we are live as fuck, which I should probably take that down or edit it. Just for...
No, we should just leave it. So. All right. On that note, you can find me at OnAirPC1 on Twitter and I think pretty much everywhere else. And ready to call it a night, guys?
Yep.
Yep. We'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen, where we are live and unfiltered.